Hello, and welcome to JOSKA-SKA-SKA Progressive. I'm Sam.
And I'm Jim.
And we're here, Season 2, I guess, after 17 years after FLCL was made, here we are with Progressive.
Yes, so...
17 years later, they came out with this.
Yeah, they sure did.
They sure did.
So, yeah, if you're new here, this is a FLCL watch-through podcast. We have watched the original, the good one. Let's refer to it as the good original FLCL. We watched through it. We really enjoyed it. It was the first time I ever watched it. You can check those episodes out. They're in the playlist.
But now we're getting into uncharted waters for both of us. I watched the first episode of both of these when they aired back-to-back on Toonami forever ago in 2018. But after that, I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
So yeah, I think it's really important to talk about the legacy of this series. So... As you said, you watched both of these as they aired back-to-back.
They aired the first episode of Progressive and then the first episode of Alternative back-to-back. And I've kind of reading a little bit about like some of the production stuff about this, where like, this is not done. Obviously, Gainax is not really a like a production animation company anymore, like as they used to be anyway. And it's basically just Adult Swim and Production IG coming together, and
Toho as well.
And Toho, but it's mainly Production IG is the big one. And apparently, so Production ID proposed doing 2 6-episode seasons with completely different show units.
Yeah, so
if you probably gonna be able to tell when we watched Alternative, but yeah, they were trying to do a competitive, trying to see which show is gonna be better, and people usually have easy thoughts about that.
So in Japan, these actually had theatrical screenings. The first episodes had theatrical screenings.
Yeah. So
this came out in 2018, just for good measure.
Yes.
The first episode of FLCL Alternative unexpectedly premiered on April Fool's Day in 2018 on Toonami in Japanese with English subtitles as part of their annual stunt.
Yeah. And as you know, the pillows are still there. A lot of new and old songs.
So I think the pillows are, like, ironically, like, the one through line. Maybe not ironically, it's not the right word.
And Haruko's voice actress is still there.
Yeah, so we watched the dub.
Yes.
Famous.
We have to say with the dub.
So, funny story. So, Sam was like, hi, I want to watch the dub, and we couldn't find it anywhere. So I said, Sam, don't buy them. Please. I was begging. I was pleading with Sam.
I'm like, Jim, there's a sale on them right now for pretty cheap. And Jim's like, no.
I was begging Sam, please do not buy the FLCL like the sequel series.
The franchise.
The FLCL, it is a franchise now. So unfortunately he did, so now we are watching it. We are watching the dub. So yeah, apparently I'm sure there's a lot of history. I should have looked into the history before this.
I bought the DVD with both seasons back to back just for this. Okay, I put the heart in so we can destroy it later and have that give away that expired digital copy that came with it.
So the directors of these series, I believe they both worked on Eva. So the character designer, Yoshiyuki Sadamoto for Evangelion did the character designs for this show. Yes. Which is interesting.
Yeah, a lot of things I've read about it were just like, we're trying to update it for the modern way and like the modern.
And the one of the assistant directors on Eva, Kazuya Tsurumaki, was the director of, I'm guessing we're talking about Progressive? I'm not sure exactly. Maybe they mean like the entire whatever. I'm not really familiar with his work. Looks like he is a Gainax guy. I mean, like there has been like a through line. Like he's worked on the Ava rebuilds. He worked as like a old style Gainax guy.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, hold on, wait. Oh sorry, I'm talking about the original one. Oh, I'm reading the. Okay, I was gonna say, why is the original one? This one sounds so much better than the one we watched.
I've been reading through this Polygon article about like the productions of both of these, and like they talk about like they have to change like some stuff. We mentioned the Nazi uniform in episode 5. I'm like, we had to avoid that. I'm like, yeah, no shit. That's something you should have avoided back then. But yeah, so they said they wanted to make it a little more tame than the original because social cues and everything are now like we can't have an adult woman having a relationship with an adolescent boy. I'm like,
well, okay, I would say they failed immediately with that. But so just a little bit more in the behind the scenes. So first off, I don't think we clarified. We've only seen episodes 1 and 2 of Progressive.
We're doing 2 episodes, yeah.
Just like our other ones, so we haven't seen further. We don't know how it concludes, so we're only going to be discussing the initial 2 episodes. But just kind of to talk about Progressive a little bit more, the character designer actually did come back.
Yes, I knew a handful of people came back from the original production.
Which it's really strange because it doesn't like this. To cut to the chase, this really doesn't feel like Fully Cooley. It
really doesn't, other than like the imagery and like remember this, I remember.
It's a ton of references.
Member berries, yes.
Very, very like not clever.
And the opening of like the first episode is called Restart. Is very much like, here's that imagery from the end of Fully Cooley, but other than just getting a quick, maybe just a quick glimpse, it just goes on for way too long. Of like, oh yeah, she's just gonna do some cool robot shit in here.
I do have to say, I did notice there's a funny spelling or grammar mistake on the Fully Cooley Wikipedia page.
Oh, embarrassing.
Because it talks about Fully Cooley Progressive, and then it says Fully Cooley Alternative, the third season. Once again, saw the return of character designer. But so, yeah, I think the big thing is there was a chief director on this, but every episode has a different director. So maybe going forward, we'll see, like, there's kind of a big difference. I mean, that's kind of how the original Fully Cooley felt. Like, each episode had a very strong identity of its own.
Yeah.
You think about the gun episode, you think about the baseball episode.
Yes.
References also.
Yeah, you remember the Vespa? Remember the irons with the hand holding it? I remember.
All right, let's talk about...
remember the bass guitars?
I do remember
Remember people get hit by vehicles?
I do remember the scene when she gets hit by the vehicle, or when he gets hit by the vehicle.
Did you clap?
I did not. All right, so
like we have a vision, like one of those future premonition thing to go on way too long.
So what's the main girl's name? I didn't get her actual name.
Hidomi.
Hidomi. Okay, so
with her gamer earphones.
She has
cat earphones.
Literally has cat girl gamer earphones.
Yes.
There's a part where one of the characters.
She's halfway to being a Twitch streamer already.
Yeah. There's a part where a character's like, "Where'd you get those? You couldn't just buy those off the street." It's like
I'm like, you obviously never been to Amazon. Even in 2018, you could they were all over the place.
Yeah, you can get those in your coder socks at the same time.
Your gamer chairs.
And your gamer chairs.
So yeah, her design is like very anime playing girl. Other than the earphones, like the only thing that makes her like.
She does like a lot of the characters. They feel very anime, very modern. It's like if I had to summarize what Fully Cooley Progressive is, season 2. I would say it's like modern Fully Cooley. That's literally an easy way to say it. It's as bad as it sounds.
Half the characters seem like they like inspiration is like, okay, they look they're in the Fully Cooley universe, and half the character like this is just from like a production IG like.
It just looks
design.
Like a random background guy from like. It's so weird to me that it's the Ava character designer because I really don't get like any of that.
Because like we see Ide, like he looks like a Fully Cooley universe character. The fat friend kind of can be a Fully Cooley universe character. And again, Marco
does not.
Yes,
I remember that was the first
voiced
image
by Spider-Man himself, Yuri.
The first image that I saw of this was Marco, and I literally was like, just thought that this does not look like Fully Cooley at all. The way his eyes look, the way his character design,
like. Yeah,
it's just really weird.
I mean, he had like similar lips of what one of Naoto's friends had as well. That was like the only thing they were trying. Again, we had to give him something to make him look like this universe. Let's give him like the lips one friend had.
All right, so I want to talk about this opening like dream sequence at first. So yeah, as you said, we see a lot of reference. So the main girl Hidomi is like walking through the destroyed town. She has this monologue that's very reminiscent to Naoto's in the very beginning about or Naota. Sorry, I keep saying Naoto. In the very beginning about how there's nothing interesting that happens here, and the whole thing is that her body's decaying. So it's like exactly what Naoto said. Like you feel like you're dying. Like, it's the same shit.
Yeah, and we see the famous iron with the hand holding it.
Yeah, so it's all the irons. It's like we saw the vision of like what the plan was for the aliens was to iron out all of
the rumbling, the ironing,
literally
the ironing,
the ironing. So we see that happening, and she starts to run away from it, and then she like also has a horn. She also has a big red horn.
She finds a weird creature and a Resident Evil eye comes out of it, and she turns into like a not Conti robot.
She turns into like a modern anime version of Conti, which looks bad because it just looks like a shitty mecha.
And then I'm like, the scene should have ended with maybe like the eye opening up and ending, but it goes on more for her to fight the stuff, and I'm like, you don't need to do this like right away.
I mean, technically it looked good, like like it was technically well animated, but it did feel like I don't have any context for this. Like it's just Flash. There's nothing going on.
Yeah, I'm just like, there's a lot of stuff where like a lot of Virtual Fully had a lot of like show. You don't have to like say it out loud to like really like hammer it in there. Where this one's like very like we're just gonna explain everything
Explain
to you.
everything. Just thinking about like the scene when the kids find Momimi and she's like washing her clothes in the river because she's like a weird homeless person.
And
like that scene says so much about all these characters, and they don't like tell you. And you
like,
have Momimi's homeless.
And you have the thing of them saying rumors about like random people or her, and like, for that you're like, oh, you don't even know that's probably not true or not or anything.
Yeah,
because like that's great.
And it just like you get a lot for Naota that scene. You get a lot from Momimi, of course, and like the kids too. Like you see how they react.
Even
that.
him figuring out that she's like the arsonist, and like you see like he pieces it together in his head, but he does like, oh, I know she's the arsonist because she's playing that video game, and that video game is causing her to make fires, and then. The match is like because you're wearing that match on your head that you're doing a ritual because you're an arsonist. No, it doesn't do that.
It's done a lot more impressionistically. Which this it's very like
blunt.
Yeah, they really hit you over the head. I mean, Fooly Cooly does hit you over the head with a lot of shit. Not trying to say Fooly Cooly's subtle at all, but Fooly Cooly the original doesn't pretend like you're an idiot.
Yeah,
it knows that you like lewd things, but it doesn't think you're like a 10 IQ.
It doesn't insult your intelligence.
Piece of rock or something.
They know Fooly Cooly fans in modern day ones are just gonna think they're brain rotted, I guess. As they think.
So we do see a new Haruko.
Well, first off,
we see her smoking.
Well, hold up. Well, first,
the mom. We didn't get the mom.
Well, yeah, wait. She wakes up. We see she does the same thing of like nothing interesting happened in this town. As we learned, it's not the same town. It's just a similar. They have a similar medical mechanica like building there. Essentially,
it for all intents and purposes, it is the same town from the first series.
Similar bridges and like, except they have a slums.
They do have like a horrible slums, which I was really angry watching this and seeing that they literally are just setting it in the same location because like.
But it's technically not because they said it wasn't.
It's technically not, but it is functionally. It is because when I heard they were gonna do Fooly Cooly sequels, and this was before I had seen the show, I was like, oh, I guess I know the one character is like a weird space character. I guess they could do like aliens. Like she could just go like anywhere in the universe. No, she goes back to the same fucking town in Japan, where a whole world. It's the most important fucking town in the world, I guess.
A similar town. we meet
that
her,
looks exactly the same and has all the same characters and features as the original.
We meet her wacky mom. She's Hidomi's very emotionless. Like they are very beating you over the head. Like you wear those earphones because you don't want people to bother you, and like you don't want to hear anything. I'm just like, okay, you can get that. You just say the line of when we meet new Haruko, she's just like, these aren't even playing anything. Like you can just kind of like infer that in your head. That's why she's wearing them, and like she can throw a line saying like they're very important to me, give them back, kind of thing. And like you understand it completely after those two lines. But no, they have to hammer it on your head way 20,000 times. And they're used to make some cool visual effects, like when stuff's coming out of her head. But like other than that,
yeah, I don't really care about like the mystery behind these like cat girl earphones. Yeah, I'm not really interested.
And so yeah, we see the new Haruko spying on her. She's walking into the school. We'll get to her.
So she has like just design wise, just because I'm assuming the people are going to listen to this having not seen it, which I kind of don't recommend watching this so far. I didn't hate episode 1, but so she is in like a big Corvette kind of looking like
her
convertible.
We didn't find her name to any episode, but it's like Jinyu or Ginyu.
Yeah, Jinyu. And she has big like blonde hair.
She's
big white hair, and she has like Kamina glasses.
Her design is kind of similar to the sniper chick, but like not the freckles or anything. Like
kind of
the dark skin, white hair, and like but she also but she's very tall.
She has a lot of. If you've seen like the last 2 Rebuild movies, Gendo has those exact same kind of glasses. It's like a weird kind of like
very weird Kamina glasses.
Yeah, it's like a visor. It's not really glasses.
So she drives a blue Chevy Bel Air.
Oh, so it is a real car.
It is a real car. Yes, of course. So yeah, we also see, but we learn everything a little bit later with her. But like we're in the classroom, we meet Ide talking to his friends about him having like going out with a girl, which obviously is Haruko.
So I was kind of stupid. I didn't realize that
really
until later. Because I was just like...
we see the Vespa right at the school,
I know, we do see the Vespa. I was just waiting for her to show up in a different way. But they
talk about gender, they talk about hitting on girls.
So we're kind of, we're introduced to like the kids, like, so the boys, like similar to how Naota had like, there were 3 kids in his class. There's these 3 boys that are kind of like the stand-in for all the
2
students.
boys. I guess
Ide and then Marco.
And then the fat friend.
And then the fat friend. So the fat friend has this weird like fixation on like wearing a skirt, which is fine
because fashion.
But yeah, it's like a whole fashion thing. They have a funny line where he's like, you can't even say gender in the fashion world. They'll treat you like an old person.
I think his name is Goro.
Goro? Okay.
Because, of course, Fekkai is already named Goro.
Like, yeah, Goro Akechi.
Unless you're Majima from Doctor.
Unless you're Akechi from Persona 5.
No, he likes pancakes. He's fat.
Funny. But so, all right, we have the big thing here is that Ide. So Ide is kind of like the most fully coolly looking character.
Yes,
I would say.
definitely.
By that he's the way that they start showing him. They show his hair first. His hair looks exactly like Naota's, and they show him having a Band-Aid on his forehead. So and they're clearly like
he acts a lot like Naota's dad, like a lot of time too.
Yeah, he's like bragging about having sex with this teacher, and on the guys. Very weird. I don't know if this is just a weird thing with the dub, but these guys didn't react until he said like a random word that wasn't even like a crazy word, and then they both start blushing like crazy. But yeah, they're just kind of comic relief, I guess.
Yeah, and then so when the homeroom teacher comes in, obviously I knew right away it was Haruka. I didn't want to say anything, but Jim apparently didn't realize it until like the second time.
And it didn't get until the second time, but
I was like, this is literally her voice actress. It's so like no.
That was what gave it away, and like I have to say, I don't know who voices her, but she sounds so old.
I don't think she sounds that much different.
Some of the things she said, I was like, oh my god, she sounds like an old lady. I mean, if she was like in her mid-20s when Fully Cooley came out, she's in her 50s now. Think about it.
Okay.
I mean, that's old. Like, she's an old lady. She
still sounded, I think, just the same to me.
She sounded
but yeah,
old.
she showed a lesson by making Hidomi watch porn.
All right, so this is like a weird, going by your one comment about, we didn't want to have the teachers do anything inappropriate with the kids. She literally like sits, presumably she's sitting all the kids down and showing them porn.
They didn't want to have what they could do with the teacher, with the adult-child relationship, I guess, in Fully Cooley. They had to lessen it down. But this is
arguably worse because this is literally like what groomers do. To like groom, they show them like porn.
Fame groomer Haruko, yeah.
She is literally a groomer. It's hard to like talk about Haruko without thinking about how much of a horrible person she is.
She's a horrible person, but she's like literally has to be the poster child to all of these because she's
kind of the most iconic, recognizable character from it.
Next to Kanti.
I would say she's more iconic than Kanti. She certainly is like the mascot for the series. But so I don't know. Yeah, so she shows the main girl porn. And she shows her several kinds.
She doesn't react.
Yeah, the big thing is she has no reaction.
So, yeah. And after that, Hidomi goes back. She works at her mother's restaurant. They go outside and they talk about, like, her missing father and thing.
Was it her father?
I'm pretty sure they're talking about her father.
So, yeah, they have a whole scene where they talk. This is where they actually mention, we moved from our old town. This town is so similar, though. There's also a Medica Mechanica building.
And they'll say, like, I wonder if he's going to come back. And, like, are they referring to Naoto? Or maybe Kanti's her dad? Because maybe Kanti got around.
Kanti's her dad. That's why she's so robotic.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it probably is a father. It's probably a father. But then she reacts really weirdly to it because she says like, we should leave. He's never coming back. And then she's like, oh no, why did I say that?
Daddy issues. You love that trope.
Oh, also, our main character, Hidomi, she always calls her mom mommy. So definitely we're doing like she's childish thing, right? That's
she's childish, but like her cold, but the cold emotionless thing is so cool adult. It's very similar to, I guess, another way to do what they did in like with his one friend from Fully Cooley, where like she was supposed to be a youth adult for like not having stuff affect her really hard, but like she was like, I don't really care, but that's more like her just being emotionless, like robotic kind of thing to it.
Yeah, it's definitely like a totally different kind of take on that like personality trait.
But yeah, and that's when she gets hit by the car.
And they do the black and white thing, and they do the funny like spin.
Not nearly as good. Not even close to being as good as like the 3D animation thing.
Yeah, I really just want to point out here, like so much of the anime so far has been extremely serious. Characters very rarely go off model. The one exception is our main girl Hidomi will sometimes become just a giant like silhouette of a cat.
It does. If you watch FMA. In Brotherhood, Al always has that like goofy like cat version of, or like the blobby cat version. It's basically that, but pink.
It does look just like that,
and without nearly the match the charm that comes with it.
But like Fully Cooley was constantly jumping back and forth from these weird, different style changes. Like characters would deform constantly. This like when we suddenly get a scene where she gets up at the car and she starts spinning wildly. It's like jarring because none of the show has looked like this so far.
And like the original Fully Cooley always center around like him getting hit. You see him like it hit him in the head and like him like flying throughout the sky and everything, and like This one, she just gets hit by a car and she's fine.
Like, characters start acting that way later, and it feels wrong because, like, a character falls and flies like 10 feet in the air and slams his face in the ground, and it feels like he should die.
He also does like
because it's fully cool, he's fine.
He also falls to the sky and does like a feather thing of just like, or a leaf where you just like slowly like gliding down.
I don't remember that.
It's like when he's like on the leach in the second episode.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
But yeah, so basically we get a
So okay,
good.
She shows up. So her name is Jinyu. So Jinyu is like the new Haruko. We'll call her Haruko too.
Yeah, because late at night she gets attacked by a robot, like a War of the Worlds robot.
Well, no, there's one other scene first. This is where she makes the iconic reference. You were about to overflow. She's talking to Hifumi.
Women always overflow, apparently, in the Fully Cool universe.
Which is just like, it's frustrating because that was like one line that Momimi had.
Yeah.
And it was like her emotion. It was like, it wasn't like a superpower. It
Yeah.
was like she's like such a fucked up human that she's trying to process her emotions and can't.
Yeah.
And this, it's like, oh no, her overflowing is actually like related to the magic brain that she has that can shoot out mechs or whatever.
Yeah, the space
that turns her into a weird doll. We'll get to that, I guess.
So yeah, then she basically cuts to night. She gets attacked by a mechanical creature that's like just like a standard mechanical War of the Worlds, like just
so to me it looks like a big metal clam, and I wasn't sure if that was like a sex joke.
Probably.
It is like fine looking. Like, I like the tentacles that come out of it. I thought that was pretty interesting.
And it throws Ide at her, so it basically like kind of learned that it came out of his head essentially.
Yeah, if you're a savvy viewer, you'd be like, okay, well that's supposed to be like the robot that came out of Ide's head. That's why he had the bandage in the first scene. And
then we learned that Haruko is like lives like at his house essentially. So yeah, and they run to a junkyard and they fight the creature. Basically, the creature gets fought because
well, that's a little bit later.
Well, they basically run away and everything together. But
yeah,
they go to the junkyard. They fight it. Or it gets fought, I guess is the term. But yeah, Ginyu shows up. Ginyu. I keep so much. I can
call her Haruko too.
I mean, yeah.
Or Haruko 0.5.
But yeah, at least like her Chevy can can transform.
That doesn't happen yet.
It doesn't happen yet, but like her car is just like
she just uses the car as like a battering ram.
It also can it can do everything. This car.
So yeah, she also like she takes out her guitar because she has a guitar. She revs it up and she hits the head of the. It's just basically episode 1.
She destroys it in air quotes because
it's like the same arc as episode 1, where like the robot comes, she hits it, and then it becomes like docile, and like just how Kanti became docile after.
But less charming.
It doesn't. Yeah, it just I don't know.
And then Jinyu gets the job at her cafe. She destroys everything.
Also, we did see Haruko. Haruko was hanging out in the junkyard, clearly like watching over shit, like being like, okay, well, I'm seeing things are going according to plan.
Yeah, and then back we see the teacher talks about basically talks about like the whole time her teacher just like, I taught you everything. You got any more. Like there's a lot of brainwashing the class kind of stuff, and the class like loves her except for like Hidomi and Ide. Before she rips off her mask, revealing herself to be Haruko.
So yeah, she rips her whole face off, and it's Haruko, and then
I'm like, she never had to be one to like disguise herself like too much like that. She was always just wore the outfit, not like really disguise her face.
The joke is that she was like bad at impersonating. Like Naota always figured out that it was her because she's like bad at doing an impression of someone. But this, she's like has totally created a new identity. So okay, and then it really pissed me off that the class like cheered and got so excited. Why? Why did they get excited? Like, there's no reason. It's literally just like, is this supposed to be me? Are they telling me that I should be excited that Haruko's back?
Our fans are like just salivating at the fact that Haruko is like, I'm back, y'all. Pretty cool, huh?
That's a pretty good Haruko. You could do a pretty good Haruko accent.
I even try there. But so it's so fun. I was like, I went down to trivia. I was just like, did you know that when Jinru hit Hidomi with a car, it was very referential to the first season's first episode? I'm like, wow, really? The difference is that Jinru did it on purpose. They communicated as such, while Haruko seemingly did it on accident. I'm like, she did not do that on accident.
No.
But yeah. So also remember, she watches a random YouTube video of like an idol.
Oh, yeah.
The URL of the YouTube videos actually corresponds to an actual YouTube video, which is Toho's first Japanese trailer for Fully Cooley 2 and 3. So if you actually like type in that URL, it's a Fully Cooley trailer.
Okay.
I know. It's like, oh,
All right.
that's an actual trivia instead of like, this is a reference to season 1 of Hercules. Like, thank you.
I mean, you're right. It is.
And
trivia.
then we get to the EDOP, and it just spoils everything.
So from what I've seen from this, it looks like Jinyu is like a part of Haruko that like split off. So she like has birthed a new person. It also looked like Haruko finally found what's his name?
Adamus?
Adamus. And was able to like consume him. So to me, it's still vague. I'm sure they can do more reveals, but really, it was like showing things that happened between the two series. Like,
And like, yeah, we see like her and Ginro split.
Ginyu. Oh my god, Jinro. I'm doing it too.
I know. Wait, like we see like split. Like, okay, but at least in the second episode, they legit just say, "Oh yeah, because me and you are the same." I'm like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But we also see like Naoto a couple times. We see Momimi. We see like all like we see I think we see all his friends from the first.
I'm not exactly sure. We do like explicitly. We see like teases of them at first, and then we see like all of illustrations of all their faces side by. So I guess they really just could not fucking contain themselves. I really thought for the longest time that they were gonna like treat Fully Cooley as its own thing. Each subsequent season would be like a whole new cast of characters, a whole new adventure. Haruko would be like the one
or like
character that would show up.
You could literally have other space characters come in there, maybe be different characters other that want to just like rip out stuff from your face forehead.
Here's the problem with this: the world of Fully Cooley is not the thing that I care about. Fully Cooley is the thing I like. Like yes. I like the way it's produced. I like the characters of the original, the music. Like I don't want to see more of the world of Fully Cooley.
Like yeah, the mech and space stuff is like just an excuse for action.
Literally.
And the thing to excuse for like Haruko to be leaving is because that's her whole fucking reason. Like it's just her reason to like manipulate and control Naota.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember, but when they introduced the Space Evangelion or Nerve organization, I was like, I don't want this. Like, I don't want the series to get like all these random space politics characters.
At least with that, it introduced like, the commander who, is connected to Haruko, and you got more about her from him, so it actually served a purpose, and like...
No, it was all well tied together.
Yes.
Yeah. Unlike just adding more characters to Fully Cooley. Like, we just have a lot of random characters that are just added to this.
All the patrons at her cafe.
Yeah, I was thinking about them too.
Okay, so let's talk about the second episode because we're going to get to the weird side characters.
All right, so I think the first one was called Restart.
Yep, and they were on Freebie Honey. Like
Freebie Honey. So I don't know if this is supposed to be a Cutie Honey joke, but
probably.
I didn't get any sort of Cutie Honey connection. I'm a big Cutie Honey fan.
So I hope you like a lot of zombie imagery because it is like all over this episode.
So do you think this is going to be like a recurring thing, like her beginning the episode with like a scary dream?
Probably, or some kind of rot, something that causes someone to rot. I guess.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see her. Like she's going to rust in one episode and like.
Yeah, you might be right, actually.
I don't know. I'm trying to think about what other stuff, like maybe some like fruit left out that rots.
That decomposes. So yeah, the whole thing here is it's like.
Ooh, or a plant dying.
It's like a horror like zombie movie. It's like black and white, and we see like the boy characters, like three boys.
Yeah,
we see like the fat guy and then Marco, like they start trying to eat her, and then we see Ida as a zombie.
But he turns into human, but at the end of it.
Yeah, and then we see Hitomi, whatever her name is. She also is a zombie, and she's like smiling as she sleeps. She loves it.
And gets dismembered and eaten. Like if you love Vor, you're gonna love this episode.
Yeah, it was really graphic. It was just really like bloody and violent.
Yeah,
in a way that I don't really remember the first series. I don't remember the first series really being bloody. Was it really bloody at all?
No, other than just like maybe like certain hits in the head. The scariest thing was his dad being dead, his corpse.
That was, yeah. It was more just like the imagery was really unsettling.
There was some blood and like some of the hits to the head from like just obviously, but like that's.
But this is like this is like capital G graphic blood. Like, not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's like I don't know where this came from. Like, this doesn't really read as Fully Cooley to me.
Yeah.
Movie references, like a movie parody, doesn't really feel like something. I guess not really parody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and then basically you see more cult classroom stuff, and then we get basically Haruko says, give Ide his homework because he wouldn't come to school today, and just say like,
you skipped over like literally 10 minutes of fucking
as literally
time.
as it's like half of it's zombie stuff, like zombie imagery, and then the other half is like Haruko doing cult talk.
So you forgot about the one part where Jinyu makes curry bad. So yeah, as you said, Jinyu is now a maid, so she's in a maid costume.
Remember Haruko was like like, hired as a cleaner, but never see her do any cleaning.
Yes, it was literally just like a fucking joke. But no, she's like a maid, and that's like to the point where it prevents her from doing things. Like she tries to like get out the door to help or what's her name?
Hidomi.
Hidomi. She tries to go and warn Hidomi like 3 times, like the woman in the Vespa's dangerous, and she literally can't leave the fucking curry store. Why? What's holding her there? That's supposed to do.
Job.
Haruko literally didn't give a fuck. Like when Haruko wanted to go somewhere, she just went.
Her father was getting some pussy, so he didn't care.
It's true. He
Or he was,
like a
or no, he was a robot. Why would he care? He was robotic for like 90% of the show.
90%, really?
Probably.
I just think it's for that episode.
Good, Vin.
Okay, but so the other big thing here. So as you said, Haruko shows up at the school. She's a teacher, and she basically does like a weird cult sermon that all the kids get like immediately on her side,
like last episode, essentially.
And then she gives them the yearbook. So the yearbook, I'm not sure exactly what it seemed like. Everyone looked at the yearbook and they were like, oh my god, look at all these fun memories we had with Haruko. But every time that Hidomi looked at the yearbook, she saw like crown drawings. So I think this is supposed to be like an illusion that Haruko created.
I guess so.
To make the children like her more.
She messed with people's memories, but I guess maybe it's a power she has.
I mean, sure, why not? But like, it was kind of fun. It was almost a meta joke because like they have a scene where these kids like just met Haruko and they're like, oh my god, the yearbook's out. Look at that time when Haruko played baseball with us. Oh, look at that time when Haruko was doing this with us.
More
and
baseball and more baseball.
Yeah, they have like whatever. I don't feel like talking about this. They do like a scene where like, oh my god, when the UFO showed up and OMG, there was a psychic.
We won't talk about it again.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think they're supposed to be like being like brainwashed.
Yeah, obviously, it's very cult energy there. She's the Jared Leto. She's there for them,
which is weird because like,
Lady Jared Leto is Haruko for Haruko.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto for boys. Haruko.
All right, but so.
Sure. Like I said, she is given the quest to deliver homework to Ide, who is out of school, and she gets like. People. She goes to the slums essentially. These weird slums that do not fit this show at all.
So before she got to the slums, there was another fun reference. Do you remember?
Probably.
So remember how in the original Fooly Cooly, there was an episode where Kanti didn't show up for the whole one, and then the end he was a crossing guard.
Yeah.
Well, remember the robot from last episode? He's a crossing guard now too. Except it doesn't make any sense because he doesn't look human. He's like a big hulking monster.
Then he gets like beer with some people as well later on. And I'm like,
very funny.
Kanti has charm, and like the Jag was you didn't see him for a while. That's why. But this was literally the next episode. And like,
and Kanti's like cute. This thing isn't really cute. It's like a big clam monster.
Has no emotion.
Yeah.
But yeah, she goes to the slums. As I said, it's really weird. It doesn't really fit the Fooly Cooly world.
It really doesn't feel like the same show that we watched because whenever we saw like quote unquote like bad areas, it was like under the bridge. It was like by the bridge, like the burned down school area.
It's like a fucking setting where I'm gonna go to in a Yakuza game where I'm gonna fight a bunch of like ruffians in the corner.
It looks like they enter like a third world country almost. Like it doesn't even look like they're in like the same town, which I guess that's not entirely impossible.
And then the fat kid's there. He basically brings her to where Ide is. And he basically is just a construction worker and sells and tries to do the con man selling stuff.
So is the guy he's like literally being whipped. Is the guy supposed to be his dad?
No, I'm pretty sure it's just the boss.
Okay, for some reason I read that as his dad.
Because working is like slave labor. I mean, working to make ends meet. It's like jobs are like slavery, Jim.
Also, they did reference the Volkswagen Bug. They were pulling at the construction job site. They were pulling a Volkswagen Bug around.
Epic.
More Fooly Cooly references, please.
Yeah, remember the one teacher's car?
It's literally just like the most random shit. Like they just threw like darts like a fucking script, the script of Fooly Cooly's original series.
Okay, and then there's a scene because he's trying to sell some machinery, and he tries to sell like basically like a pellet gun to like some random guy and like his friends.
Let's call them foreigners.
Yeah, let's call them foreigners because okay, in the English dub, he speaks Japanese and just beats the shit out of him. Then we got curious and because we easily put the Japanese version on.
Because Sam purchased the Blu-rays, we have easy access to switch between Japanese and English audio tracks. I guess in this case, it made it easy to figure this out.
And a guy spoke perfect English, like.
Yeah, so in the Japanese version, the guy, instead of speaking Japanese, speaks English. But it's really funny because, like, in the English version that we watched, the dub, the one fat kid was like, hey, he's saying Yamaro. Don't they understand what that means? And I was like, well, I understand what Yamaro means because I know it means stop. But it was very confusing because they didn't speak Japanese. And
why are the foreigners just here in this, like, back alley slums? Was the guy hanging out with him, his friend, and his girlfriend, like, in the slums?
I don't know. It makes it really confusing, too. I understand, like, it's clever localization, but it hinders, like, my understanding of the world, because my understanding of Fooly Cooly is it takes place in Japan.
Yeah.
So if you localize it this way, why are they speaking English? Like, you're bringing attention to the fact they're speaking English. When normally, if I'm watching a dub, I'm just assuming, if they're in Japan, they're probably speaking Japanese.
It's really weird.
It's just stupid. I'm too fixated on this.
But she sees him get beat up. She gets a nosebleed. She overflows and like passes out. And he basically brings her back home. And he basically gets care of her nosebleed. Very sexual. The scene where he's like stuffing because they're having
stuff in her nose and pulling it out.
It's more of like a nicer moment because there's nothing weird about it other than him. He's like him just trying to get the blood off of her.
She makes weird noise. She makes like sex noises.
And then he does another reference to Fooly Cooly with when it picks up when he jumps out of his clothes to dive into her pants.
Yeah, when she admits. So he's like, hey, want to go to this Megadeth show with me? And she's like, no, but she's like, I could see myself dating you. And then he does the funny joke.
Top 3 Megadeth song, go.
I would say Mechanics.
Okay.
I would say the Four Horsemen.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait, that is Mechanics.
You can.
I would say Hangar 18,
mm-hmm.
and I would say, I can't think of another Megadeth song. I'll just say what is it? I can't even think of any of their stupid Peace Cells.
Okay, that's the only song I know by him.
I used to listen to Megadeth for a bit. It's actually not what we're talking about is not a Megadeth show.
No,
it is a show he wants to do called Megadeth. It could
be a reference to Megadeth because this is all musical references now.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
He does only have one ticket. I just realized.
The ticket for 2. Saving paper.
Yeah,
but so Haruko breaks the fourth wall by yelling "cut" and it stops him. Basically,
right as he's about to like jump naked onto her body.
We see it's like more on the nose because like she has him on a leash on like complete control over him because she told him to stop. He stopped, and like and then he literally just has him on a dog collar.
Yeah.
But basically Haruko shows up. Then Jinyu shows up, and she basically sees the car mech that can also turn in like not only does it fly, it can turn into a mech. It also can turn into like a
bunch of little laser guns.
Yeah, they look like flying syringes.
They did. I thought they were like supposed to be syringes,
but they just shot lasers.
So one thing I really dislike about this is like Fooly Cooly, the original, known for having very fun robot designs. So her car robot is literally just the car just grows legs and arms out of its bottom and sides. It's nothing. It doesn't look like anything. I
think I talked a little bit about this like in one of our first session episodes where like. They weren't really gonna make a mech show, and like one of the directors really wanted to put a mech in there, and they wanted to make a really original design, but that's why Conti had the TV head, and we even saw like the parts of a robot form, like we saw just the hand that could just turn into like it was in a cloak. It was just a really rad design.
All of the designs are great.
Which you just took an arm of a mech and made these amazing designs, and you get to see a clam robot and like. Like a budget transformer you find at the power store.
Yeah. What's the one? Oh wait, this might be too random of a reference. Never mind. No one would understand it. But yeah, it's just literally big arms and come out the sides, and then 2 legs come out. It's very boring.
Yeah.
But then her whole thing is like she's like Haruko, don't you dare get in the lives of my precious friend children.
Ginyu shows up. They have this fight.
They just have a fucking Dragon Ball fight.
It's not a very good fight.
It's bad. I would say this looks bad.
Yeah.
Whereas like the first episode actually did have some pretty good like action. This one, it's like they literally turn into like Goku and Vegeta. They like zip around on like in like giant like energy blasts.
And as we say, we saw in the AD, Jinyu says, "Oh, you're part. Like I'm part of you, Haru." Like, and they stop trying to taste Adamus, which is like I guess that didn't work out the first time.
So, and the other thing too, which also I just felt like was annoying. So there's a part in the fight where Haru Haru has Ide on like a leash,
Also,
and then she gets her bass guitar.
Ide's on the leash.
Yes, I said that.
Yeah, okay. I thought
So she has Ide on the leash. She hits him in the head with her bass guitar to spawn a new robot. I was like, we're gonna see a new robot.
No,
we do not. So the same robot from earlier that's a crossing guard comes out of his head, which to me that was like. Doesn't that like wasn't the whole point? I guess whatever.
He doesn't want to. He's docile and doesn't want to be controlled anymore.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me that like because the whole thing with Conti was like once it got hit in the head, it basically just did whatever Naota wanted.
It had a free will and just kind of did whatever, like kind of exploring the world and everything.
Yeah, it wasn't like able to go aggressive again. So I thought it was strange that. This guy just suddenly, like, okay, we don't want to design a new mech for this episode. We just want to have the same one.
Also, her headphones are referred to as inhibitor headphones.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they say it a couple times. But like,
that's right. They do say that. They do say that.
But yeah, so when she, like, because in the car, she does nosebleed and actually, like, the horn slices out. And yeah, that's when she goes into her weird mechanical doll form.
She turns into a Hot Topic doll.
Yeah. Not like an off-budget like Chucky doll.
So instead of like summoning a robot and then like going into it like Naota did, she just becomes like a weird like little mascot doll that's like all.
She's emotionless. She's like a doll.
Oh my god! You just blew my fucking mind.
And yeah, and then Haruko goes up to it, and it just like does like a nuclear explosion in front of Haruko. Haruko's fine.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand what was happening here. I didn't like this part.
And then yeah. And
she tries to punch Haruko. Haruko dodges, or she misses, and then she punches herself in the face, which causes her to transform out of robot doll mode back to girl mode.
And then Jinyu puts them both inside her car to heal them because it's like the tank in the Frieza saga where
I hated this part so much.
They have some weird bad flirting, I guess, between them.
Yeah, that's when she finally hands him the worksheet that he got in class today, which I thought was supposed to be like. I thought it was supposed to be something. I guess it wasn't. I guess the whole point was Haruko just wanted to get them together. But so, yeah, episode 2, I would say was a steep decline. I didn't like episode 1 a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate it though. I was watching it like kind of interested, but episode 2, I was just like, oh no, they really don't have any new ideas, do they?
Guess not. You gotta freaking hammer in Haruko's bullshit in.
Like, what more can they do? Like.
I fucking know, man. She's not going for the grooming right away for like our main character. There's two Harukos.
Well, she kind of is. She's trying to. And like Ide's already gets whipped. I don't like Haruko 2. I don't like this new Haruko character.
Yeah, I don't know I just don't know the plan going in here, and like, there's like it's hard to explain. Like. I don't know what they're going. I don't know what they are going. Think they can do with it because I'm not interested in anything.
Yeah, I'm not really.
The cast of characters aren't interesting. There's not any of those like weird cuts to like other animation styles. Really, like
there's a scene where Haruko like becomes noodly.
Yeah,
and it felt so jarring because like she would become noodly all the time. Like her limbs would always be like rubber hose, and this happens one time, and it feels like an error.
And even the cut to the one different animation side was the zombie scene, and I did not enjoy that one.
I didn't like the filter they put over it. It made it hard to like look what it was.
It always skipped like big frames of animation.
Yeah,
it was
low
this
frame.
is weird.
Yeah, I didn't particularly care for how long that sequence was.
Yeah, like I said, the opening sequence had been 2 for 2, way too long.
The first one was like more intriguing because the animation style was better.
So
I like the whole idea of her like decomposing, her body parts falling off. That was cool.
That's cool. The first episode had that too, of like limbs just falling off.
That was the first one is what I was talking about.
But yeah, second one had her legs get ripped off and just have her being a legless body.
Yeah.
So what do you think, or when do you think we'll see like a fully coolly original character come back? Is not Haruko.
I'm gonna say episode.
I'm gonna say
4. I'm gonna say episode 4.
I'm gonna say 5.
I think they're gonna mirror the original series by having like. Now to come in with
the eyebrows.
The eyebrows guy. Similar to how the eyebrows guy came in episode 4, the baseball episode. I think they're going to mirror that.
You think Naota will appear before Mamimi?
Yeah.
I feel like Mamimi is like the most likely to come back. And
I think you're right. Mamimi feels the easiest to just drop in. That is going to be a hard character to
I'm
stick
curious
the landing on.
if he got her voice actress to come back.
Yeah, that'll be evident immediately.
But yeah,
If she even shows up, who fucking knows?
I gotta double check. 'Cause I'm not sure if this is the one people don't like or the one people think is mid. So.
Oh, if this is the one that people don't like or that people think is mid, oh my god, the next one's gonna be.
But yeah, I don't have my hopes up. It's not going good.
Yeah, I'm not really super into this.
Yeah, I mean, but the title was a Cutie Honey reference. Didn't Gynax do a Cutie Honey thing, or
Yes.
Anno did a Cutie Honey thing?
Anno directed a Cutie Honey live action movie, and then Gynax did three OVAs of Cutie Honey.
Yeah, see, that's a reference to Gynax. Gotta rest their souls.
Gynax rest their souls.
Gynax rest their souls. Anything else? Because like, there's nothing to really like talk about deep wise that hadn't been like bashed over our heads.
No, I think we really got everything in my notes.
By the end, if we end up hating this, you can vote or in the comments how we can destroy this DVD.
Well, we get to, we
we'll plant it in your garden.
We do get destroyed too, actually. I don't want to put that in my garden. I nurture things in my garden, Sam. I don't want to put that kind of bad energy, those bad vibes in there.
just leave it in like the freaking subway of Philadelphia.
I don't think we actually referenced or talked about this, but it does just have like the same exact bridges.
Go to a public library, go a random book, and just leave a disc in one book, and then another disc in another book.
That's mean for people. That
I'll leave it
in
the manga section where like the sword art and like or like the manga release of like JoJo or like a manga release of Shield Hero or something.
Why would you put it in a good thing? Put it in a bad thing, like it's like punishment.
No, but I think, oh wow, fully cool, he's gonna be great, and then like, oh. Go or just oh my god, just go to DVD or rent out a DVD and just switch them out.
I just wonder, like, what is the legacy of Fully Cooley going to be now that we have 2 more sequel series? Like, who is funding these? Were these
Adult Swim?
Were these like sequel series well received enough for them to be like, all right, we need 2 more?
I feel like they weren't, so I don't know how. I guess like even like 4 years after these, they're like we announced 2 more.
4 years. I have a funny feeling. I don't know why. I feel like one of these new ones is going to actually be like really great for no reason.
I had that new animation style on one of them.
Yeah. I would love for one of the new seasons just be awesome and the rest just garbage.
I appreciate doing a different animation style for the series so you don't have to like try to like recreate a design like a
because clearly they have not succeeded so far in progressive at least.
Yeah.
How ironic that they call it progressive when it's regressive in so many ways.
Got him. So yeah. My hopes still aren't high for this.
My hopes have never been high. I think I might have been more interested than you in watching these, but
because I watched I watched 2 like 1 episode of each, so and I'm like and I'm like I know Haru will be fine because she's going to be in alternative anyway.
She'll be fine. I wonder if like there'll be I really wonder if they're gonna do the same setting in alternative too. Like that would just be insane if they just reuse the same fucking setting. Go literally
another town with another mechanical.
They just keep finding new ones.
Yeah, another ironing board that to have our character like overflow again because they're also going to be female. I think a female cast or female lead cast.
Oh, I do want to talk one last thing before we close this out. So, Fully Cooley original, very much male puberty, like male puberty parallel. Lots of discussion about what that's like. I really thought with this we might get a chance of like, all right, let's get like the ladies in here. Let's get like more of a female perspective.
Girls,
of, like,
it's your time.
Girls, it's your time. Because like obviously, boy and girl puberty is very different. Like girls go through puberty a lot earlier. There's a lot more like social ramifications with that. Like everyone's like looking at you differently.
Yeah.
Whereas everything with like Naota is more about like his expressions, how like he's engaging with the world sexually. But it could be totally flipped if they would have done something else.
We kind of got that in like with episode 3, where it just like where they think, oh, you're so mature and everything, and like even though she's really not at all. Like it's just but they think they always view girls as more mature, but they always have to go through the same kind of thing at different stages as well.
Yeah. So here's what I would have done if I was writing. If I had to be writing a Fully Cooley sequel, I would have made the main character would have been like a girl.
Okay.
And then it would have been Momimi would have been not her mom, but Momimi would have been like an older sort of like
that
positive like woman like
the local homeless person that they come for advice.
No, I don't want to make her homeless still. I want her to be like successful. But I want like Momimi to like repent for her horrible like actions, her like sexual misconduct with Naota.
Or just have her like pop up where she's like taking photographs of like random like scenery. Like,
no, here's what I want. I want Momimi to like make up for how inappropriate she was in the first series by like showing like a new young girl like, no, there's certain ways to behave, like they're like things are changing with you, but you can't like grab a kid and suck his earlobe and kiss him on the cheek and think that's okay.
Then we find out she went to America and killed Yasuo's brother and his American girlfriend for revenge.
Now that would be an interesting sequel. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, you heard it. That'll be Fully Cooley Joe-aggressive part 9.
Ska.
JOSKA.
Maybe Fully Cooley ska before reggae. There we go.
Ska before reggae.
Ska came before reggae.
All right, let's end this, please.
It's a good pitch, though. That's a good pitch for.
Thank you.
Would be 6.
6 series. Because I'm just thinking, like if you want to do a Fully Cooley sequel and you need to reuse the characters,
and like
you have to do something that like expands upon them originally.
And like I like the idea of having like a 6-episode mini anime series. I think that's a great idea for like telling a shorter contained story, like doing whatever the fuck you want, but like. Does not feel like this is gonna be a 6-episode. It feels like one of those shows that I'm like people like painfully watch or just forget about like mid-season. So
this is gonna sound kind of like weird and nitpicky, but I don't think these are technically OVAs.
No.
So inherently, you're gonna have less of a quality throughout. Because the thing with Fully Cooley that was nice.
It came out like it came out several months apart from each other.
And each episode was extremely well produced. There wasn't like a lot of cost cutting. I mean, you could make whatever. You can make jokes.
A lot of episodes felt like a standalone as well, compared like I mean, minus like probably the last 1 or 2, but
yeah. Whereas these kind of blended together in my head.
Yeah.
Damn, we gotta wait till fucking 2023 for
everything, every one of our series.
For Fully Cooley Grunge and Fully Cooley Shoegaze.
Literally for every one of our series, Jim. We have like what's it called? Probably the end of Part 6, Attack on Titan. Like every series we do is just going to like, end or conclude in 2023.
That's why everyone should stick around longer.
JoJo Lands will probably fucking start.
What's on your?
Oh, an ad started.
Oh. Sam's trying to show me ads.
Somehow YouTube showed up. It wasn't ad of just like a guy taking a shower. That's funny.
All right.
It's funny.
All right.
But yeah. Anything else you want to talk about then? Or are you good?
No, I think that's really it.
It's going to be shitting on it.
It's really weird to think this is technically only going to be like 12 episodes we're watching. So it's basically like a regular season of anime.
Yeah. Well, technically it's only going to be 6 episodes, or only about 6 episodes of this, because I'm pretty sure everything's different when we get to alternative.
Oh, wait, is it?
Yeah, it's not, different characters. I told you.
Well, no,
that.
I mean, like, since we're watching 2 series of 6 episodes each, it's like watching 1 season of anime, like normal anime.
I guess so, yeah. All right, with that, I guess we'll plug it up and...
plug it up.
Thank you all for...
Plug up that bloody nose hole that happens in episode 2.
Sure.
Also, you. Come on. You're given such a easy reference. She had like she was bleeding and then he's stuffing something in her nose.
Jim wants more period references in his anime.
If you're going to do a coming of age story and it's going to be a girl's the main character, you have to you can't shy away from this. You're cowardly. You're cowardly if you shy away from this.
Cowards.
Cowardly.
Japan's is afraid of periods. So just get that.
True.
Jim wants to just put that.
We're gonna put the fear in them.
Was it in Part 8 where what did Yasha go to the hospital because
her cramps were bad?
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I wasn't sure she had like a fucking like period problem.
Yeah, she had like
really
painful
Araki
cramps.
at one point would just have that a throwaway line and it's like, hey, my period's going off.
Well, Araki has like 2 daughters, so
I know, but Araki
I'm sure he understands these things.
Araki has some weird fucking one-off lines.
He does have weird one-off lines.
About he knows how to write women.
All right.
Thank you all for listening. Again, you can put if you somehow watch these episodes along with us, you can put your comment in there. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow the podcast on Twitter via Jim separately. You can also join the Discord to discuss various manga and anime.
Make sure you listen to those other Fully Cooley episodes. We actually had fun watching those. We're positive.
Yes.
There was a lot of fun, good discussion.
Yes.
I re-listened to the first one today. Yesterday.
We get off track a lot as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is more us like This is more in line of the first half of the Jujutsu Kai quest, where we kind of just talk about not liking it ever too much.
I don't like to be negative, but I think there is something to be said about like doing a thorough critique.
Unlike Jujutsu Kaisen, this I'm feeling this won't win me over in the end. So
I'm sure it won't.
So, and with that, I guess we'll see you at episode 2 of JOSKA-SKA-SKA.
Thank you for joining. See you next Fully Coolly Friday.